Hey everyone, welcome back to another OKestWeekly recap where we cover all things handheld gaming. We had a big week of updates, leaks, and speculation to go over today. We'll cover updates across the board for all handheld companies, as well as software updates and game sales. Some of the notable updates we'll review today is a new 7840U handheld from AYANEO, leaks for the ROG Ally chip, and an approximate release date for the AOKZOE A2. If you enjoy these videos, do the OKest thing and boop that like button. And if you're new here to the channel, subscribe down below. Alright, let's dive into it. We'll kick things off today with some updates for the ROG Ally. We had a couple of articles and a tweet that came out this week that was in reference to the APU that may be used in the Ally. The first article we'll review is from videocards.com, which reported on a shipping manifest that was discovered from Asus that labeled the product as a handheld console PC. The product code was RC71L and it was listed with an AMD Ryzen 7 7840 chip. The article goes on to list two product codes discovered on the FCC website, and those two were the RC71L and the RC71X. These product codes could be in reference to the different storage capacity, or perhaps there's two varying chips that are being used for the device. Following this up, we saw a tweet with a visual breakdown of the Ally's specs. It labeled the processor as an AMD Ryzen Z1 series. Asus has stated that their processor was a custom AMD APU, so perhaps the Z1 chip is a custom 7840U, but we'll have to wait for more information on that. We also got a second article from another website, which I'll display on the screen so I can avoid completely butchering its name, where we got some more close-up photos of the device, where we can get an idea of the texture, the feel, and the finish on the buttons and shell. The device was an earlier prototype than what we've seen from Linus and Dave 2D. However, they did comment on a little bit on the feel of the D-pad. They said that it's likely going to be difficult to perform precise movements, so hopefully that's something that gets fixed in the production model, but hopefully we'll learn more as we get closer to launch. They also made brief mention of the rear buttons. They said that they line up well with your middle finger when you're naturally gripping the device. They talked about the shoulder and trigger buttons having a nice textured finish, and they didn't state as much, but if you look at the pictures, it appears that the rear grips also seem to be textured. So as soon as I finished recording this section of the video, there was actually another article that I came across, and this is also from videocards.com, and it seems that there are two Z1 chips, two different APUs. So there's the Z1 and the Z1 Extreme. So the Z1 Extreme is supposedly has 8 cores and 16 threads, and the regular Z1 is 6 cores and 12 threads. Now these are based off of a leak that came from Geekbench, and it also seems that the regular Z1 is 1 to 200 megahertz slower. So there may actually be two variants of the ROG Ally. Aside from just the storage capacity, it could actually just be different APUs. But I guess we're going to have to wait for full confirmation, although these leaks do seem to suggest that that's the case. For those who haven't been following the channel, I'll give you a quick recap of what we know and what's been leaked for the ROG Ally, but you should subscribe. Okay, so let's summarize this. So Asus claims that it has the most powerful custom AMD APU in a handheld. There may be two variants of this chip, the Z1 and Z1 Extreme. It weighs 608 grams. For storage, it's a 2230 size M.2 SSD with PCI Gen 4, and it comes in two sizes, the 512 and a 1 terabyte. It has 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM. The display is a 7-inch 1080p display with 120 Hz and 500 nits of brightness. The release, they just say, is sooner than we think, so I'm going to guess late Q2, early Q3. For I/O, we have one USB-C port, a UHS-2 micro SD slot, a headphone jack, and a fingerprint sensor. That's all I've got for ROG Ally updates this week. Let's move on to some updates for the Steam Deck. This week's Steam Deck updates are both related to software updates. There was an article that describes an upcoming change to the drivers relating to the shader cache and its efficiency. This update won't impact DirectX 12 games, but should help with DirectX 11 and prior. It should reduce the load times, and a much needed bonus is it reduces the cache size by around 60%. So it's estimated that this update will arrive sometime in late May to early June. If you're interested in this, check out the article that I've listed in the video description. Our second Steam Deck update is for the latest Proton experimental update, 8.0-1, and this was released on April 20th. This update brings a number of stability and bug fixes for a variety of games, including The Witcher 3, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, Neo, and others. Check out the article in the video description if you're interested in seeing the full changelog. And that's all that I've got for the Steam Deck this week. Okay, so let's move on to some updates from AOKZOE. We'll cover a couple of updates for the AOKZOE A1 Pro and A2 today. First up though, let's go over the A1 Pro. AOKZOE in their Discord server has said that the price should be announced this Monday, April 24th, and we should also hear more on the specs on Wednesday, April 26th. We also had a random appearance from Alex Jones, who's been operating under an alias, and he's been threatening to riot if his update demands are not met. So let's see how this all plays out this upcoming week, and hopefully we have 2 new updates and 1 avoided riot. Moving on to the A2, we got a first look at the actual device in some marketing photos AOKZOE shared in their Discord. The device appears to look exactly as it did in the renders, and thankfully that includes the bezel-less screen. With the new images, we also got our first look at the rear of the console that has a 3D cube design for the rear ventilation. While we're almost certain that it's going to have a 7840U chip, the specs have not been officially confirmed. However, we did hear from AOKZOE in their Discord that the A2 is expected to come out in June of this year. So what do you think of their new design? Is it a step in the right direction? Or do you prefer the 8-inch display and design of the A1 Pro? Our last bit of news for AOKZOE is that there is a sale on their website for the A1. So it seems that the prices are the same as they were for the campaign, so if you're in the market for one, go check it out. Moving over to OneXPlayer, there isn't much in the way of updates for this week. We're still waiting on new information for the One X Fly, so hopefully we'll get something before the end of the month. A bit of news to share though is that there's currently a sale on refurbished units on their website for the Mini Pro 6800 as well as the Mini 5800, so check those out if you're in the market for a OneXPlayer. On to the AYN updates. There isn't much to share, but they did share in their Discord server that they're doing the final testing and verification for different components of the Loki and the Loki Max. AYN has also previously said that they would be sending out review units by the end of April, so hopefully they're able to get them out and production can begin shortly so that those that backed the project last year can receive their product soon. This week for AYANEO, there was an article I saw from WCCF Tech that claimed that the AYANEO 2S was going to be an upcoming device that would be announced soon. I wasn't able to find the original source of their information, however the device's existence has been confirmed by AYANEO's CEO in their Discord during one of his interactions. The article claims that the AYANEO 2S will feature a 7840U and that it'll be announced sometime this year. In AYANEO's Discord server, someone asked the CEO, whose name is Arthur, when we could expect some more information for the Neo 2S. Arthur said that we could expect an update probably this weekend or possibly next week, so we should have some more information coming up soon. We also got some more information on that heatsink upgrade for the Neo 2 that I spoke of in a previous OKestWeekly. It turns out that it's anticipated to go on sale by the end of May or early June. One other bit of news is that AYANEO has sent out the AYANEO Pocket Air for review, and Taki Udon has released a couple of videos for the device. I haven't personally really covered Android handhelds yet, so if you're interested in more information, check out the link in the video description for Taki Udon's channel, and I'm sure some of the other reviewers such as Retro Game Corps or possibly the phawx will probably be reviewing this device soon as well. Speaking of the AYANEO Air series, the AYANEO Air Plus has shipped its first 30 units of the 6800U version, and there's plans to ship the other models at a later point this year. The campaign is still live, so if you're interested in that device, check out the link in the video description. Over at GPD, we received a bunch of information from the phawx for the upcoming Win Mini. The update included specs, price, I/O, and an Indiegogo campaign date. The device will have a 7-inch 1080p display with 120Hz refresh rate. There will be 2 versions of the device, one that's a more budget-friendly version with the 7440U chip, and a stronger version with the 7840. The price starts at $700 USD, which I assume is for the 7440 model. The device features USB 4 with Thunderbolt 3, gyro sensors, an Oculink connection for eGPU support, joysticks with L3 and R3 buttons built in, rumble support, and a backlit keyboard. The device is planned for a June Indiegogo campaign, and more information is likely to come soon. If you're interested in this device, check out the phawx's channel and subscribe, as he's most likely to have the information the soonest. A second bit of news for GPD is a change in the BIOS for the GPD Win 4. Users on Reddit have said that their device shipped with BIOS 3.03, which locked down the BIOS. The initial batch seemed to have come with BIOS 3.0, which was unlocked. Now, some users have said that this was due to some issues that had popped up for people that were running the device past 28 watts, while others are demanding the BIOS to be changed back or to get the original BIOS dumped from other users. Now, I don't have a Win 4, so I can't really confirm any of this information, but if you're interested in this, check out the Reddit link in the video description and join the conversation online. Moving over to software, AMD has released the new version of AMD Adrenalin, version 23.4.2. They've added support for Dead Island 2 with some performance increases, as well as fixed some issues with Red Dead Redemption, specifically for some blocky water corruption, and a few other apps. For our last section, we're going to head over to deals.gg and we're going to see what games are free and what games are on sale. So keep in mind that my prices are set to Canadian just from the region I'm in, so prices may vary per region, so make sure that you have the correct one selected. So for new deals, we've got Marvel's Avengers for $10.60. We've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider for $16.20 and Thief for $4.05. For the best deals, we have 3 free games. There's Never Alone and Beyond Blue, both free on the Epic Game Store. And then on Steam, we have Desktop Dungeons for free. Some other deals would be Far Cry 4 for $5.28, Halo the Master Chief Collection for $20, Metro Exodus for $8.50. If we head over to historical lows, we've got Halo Master Chief Collection, we've got Halo Wars for $5.49, and if you want a throwback to, well, at least a throwback for me to my younger days, there is Age of Mythology for $8.24. And that's going to do it for this week's recap. So if you enjoyed this video, boop that like button, subscribe if you'd like to see more content, and thank you for watching.